On gangsters in Rush Hour 2.
Julie Andrews transforms a misfit into a regal beauty in The Princess Diaries.
And Antonio Banderas falls for Angelina Jolie and her wicked lies in Original Sin.
Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker face the petite but powerful Zhang Ziyi in Rush Hour 2. I'm Richard Roeper.
And I'm Roger Ebert. The original Rush Hour grossed nearly $250 million, which is really all you need to know about why there's a Rush Hour 2. The sequel once again teams up martial arts star Jackie Chan and comedian Chris Tucker, who once again play a Chinese cop and a Los Angeles cop, teamed up on the same case. They go on vacation together to Hong Kong, and then a gangster triad bombs the U.S. Embassy, and they raid a karaoke bar to arrest the triad leader.
I'm from Los Angeles. We invented gangs. Give me that badge.
No, you're a civilian. In Hong Kong, I'm Michael Jackson. You're Toto.
You mean Tito? Toto is what we ate last night for dinner. Now give me that badge.
No.
We get the obligatory martial arts scenes and some astonishing moves by Jackie Chan. The problem with this movie is Chris Tucker never shuts up. He acts less like a cop than like a madman on speed.
You don't know nothing about this, do you? Egyptian style, girl. You want some of this? Come on. Bring it on!
I was personally embarrassed during a scene in a casino where he starts screaming that the dealer is a racist. I don't think long rants where black guys insult white guys are any funnier than when white guys insult black guys, especially when the white guy hasn't done anything. And the other actors then have to stand around pretending not to notice that they're in the company of an egomaniacal motor mouth. There are some impressive stunts in the movie and some funny moments, but basically Rush Hour 2 sinks under the weight of Chris Tucker's overacting.
He's deadly. He is so deadly, and he thinks that if he's loud, that means he's funny. And I guess we're supposed to think so too because he's the co-star of this film. But he is just fingernails on the chalkboard of my life, this guy. I don't want to see him do anything. And yeah, Jackie Chan does great stunts. We can see him do that in 50 other movies. So I think this thing is a real bomb.
What you have to do, it seems to me, is Chris Tucker has to agree to be a character, to play a character. To be somebody we can recognize as human instead of simply walking in like some kind of a stand-up comic into every situation and just firing in every direction.
I'm a black man, I'm a black man. There's a lot of stuff here that's like almost like Charlie Chan and Step and Fetch It stuff, just insults based on race.
You know, when you get right down
really
to
an
it,
ugly
you know,
film,
if he were a white guy doing the reverse of what he's doing, it would be too racist to film.
It's an unfunny mess, I think. Okay, our next movie, here we have a bit of a role reversal because on Broadway, Julie Andrews was Eliza Doolittle, but in The Princess Diaries, she's got the Henry Higgins part. She plays Queen Clarice Rinaldi of Genovia, who has come to California to help her granddaughter Mia realize her true destiny as the heir to the throne. Anne Hathaway plays the awkward teenager in this rarest of Hollywood offerings. It's an old-fashioned G-rated fairy tale that won't put parents to sleep.
You are Amelia Mignonette Thermopolis Rinaldi, Princess of Genovia.
Me? A princess? Shut up!
The always interesting Heather Matarazzo plays Mia's friend Lily. She hosts a cable access show that attracts an average of 12 viewers per week.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Is that all you can say?
I'm sorry I was harsh, and I don't know what else there is to say. Will you come on my cable show?
No, I can't. This is a royal secret, okay? You can't tell anyone, not even my...
If you haven't guessed by now, shut up is teen speak for you're kidding. The Princess Diaries was directed by Gary Marshall, who has done some really good films such as The Flamingo Kid and Pretty Woman, and some cloying disasters such as The Other Sister and Dear God. Here he delivers a fluffy, wholesome family film for parents who might be seeking refuge from the loud sequels and the PG-13 action fare taking up most of the screens at the multiplex.
Well, I grant you it's a G-rated fairy tale, and there's nothing in it to object to for parents who are looking for a safe place to park the kids. But boy, I found it really slow. Gary Marshall has his metronome set too low. The movie just creeps along. Every single plot point is telegraphed hours in advance, And Anne Hathaway doesn't look even remotely like a 15-year-old. You know, once she gets her hair done, she looks like a cover girl in
17 magazine.
Oh, come on, she's 20. She looks like a model. Heather Matarazzo looks a lot more appropriate, and she's about the same age, but she looks a little younger. Hathaway is one of these, you know, ringers who isn't a teenager, doesn't act like a teenager.
She's a ringer.
Will never be a teenager.
Oh, Dustin Hoffman was a ringer in The Graduate, too. I mean,
maybe
you know,
she was once a teenager, but I just found the movie to be very, very slow.
I think it's a sweet story. I think there are some good laughs. I like Hector Elizondo, who's always in Gary Marshall's film, has a nice part. And Julie Andrews, come on, Roger playing the queen of this country. How much fun is that? And she looks great.
Okay,
she
so
sounds great.
she's going to let her control of this country go away because her granddaughter has had one picture in a tabloid showing her kissing a boy. I mean,
well,
a country like Monaco
it's a
would
little
go
more
through
involved
anything
in
to keep their hands on that
money. It's a little
money.
more involved than that. But I'm really surprised that you didn't appreciate this. This is a nice, sweet tale. I don't think it moves slowly at all.
Okay, coming up later, Antonio Banderas and Angelina Jolie are hell-bent on pleasure and murder in Original Sin. Coming up next, blackmail and murder, Hitchcock style, in The Deep End.
Maybe I should take a page from your book. Maybe I should blackmail someone.
I'm not sure you understand the situation.
We don't have the money.
You have to get the money. Is that not clear enough?
A mother who lives in Lake Tahoe learns that a blackmailer will accuse her gay son of murdering his lover unless she pays $50,000. We saw there Tilda Swinton and Goran Visnich from ER in Deep End, an uncommonly engrossing thriller that gives us information that it withholds from the characters. Neither the blackmailer nor the mother knows that the victim was not necessarily killed by the woman's son. And in this scene, her son also doesn't know what really happened.
Changed.
I love the way the Deep End twists the logic of the plot until it seems that nothing she does can save herself and her family. And then there are more sudden surprises that turn everything around again and then again. I know some people are going to say the movie is too complicated to be believable, but it's not a documentary. It's an entertainment where the turns and twists are anchored by a powerful performance by Tilda Swinton, who is completely believable no matter what happens. The co-writers and directors are Scott McGahey and David Siegel, and their movie is both a thriller and, thanks to Swinton, a surprisingly touching drama.
Well, she's great in this. It's an Oscar-caliber performance, I think. And, you know, a lot of screenplays use the artificial device of the characters not knowing something, and they're operating on different premises. But here, it's believable that they wouldn't know, that each one of them, as you mentioned, thinks something differently has happened differently, and so they're, as you say, cross-purposes is the perfect way to put it. And we know, and we're hoping they're going to figure it out. So I think it's actually an ingenious script as well.
Yeah, that's kind of a Hitchcock approach. You know, a lot of thrillers are a mystery to us. And then it turns out that people in the movie have information that was not given to us,
right?
Or that they could have solved everything with one sentence,
with
or
one
by
conversation where someone just said, "Hey, what do you know? Here's what I know."
It's so much more intriguing that we basically know everything that's going on, and the characters don't.
And it takes such a strange turn halfway through when she almost partners. I don't want to say too much.
Yeah,
but
I know what you mean.
There are weird alliances
Yeah.
struck, and people break apart in ways that you wouldn't see.
And at the same time, a whole lot of real human stuff going on. For example, her distant father-in-law,
right,
and her absent husband, and her own.
It's this domestic drama with a thriller injected right in the middle of it.
Yes.
Terrific work. Okay, coming up next, Angelina Jolie spins a diabolical web around Antonio Banderas in Original Sin.
Take me home now.
You have no shame at all.
And looking ahead to next week's openings, we'll review Chris Rock and Bill Murray in the Farrelly Brothers' latest comedy, Osmosis Jones.
Now who's evolved? Miss Russell?
Yes.
Julie Russell? This picture.
I've deceived you. I'm sorry.
Mail-order bride Angelina Jolie tells Cuban coffee merchant Antonio Banderas that he's in for the ride of his life in Original Sin, a heavy-handed melodrama cloaked in fine linens. The talented cast and the pretentious slow-motion camera work cannot rescue this preposterous story about a trampy con artist named Julia, or is it Bonnie, who gyrates her way into the heart of the incredibly naive Luis.
Who was the man?
Man, I was lost, that's all.
You make my heart stop.
Feel my heart. Feel how fast it's beating.
Julia is bad news, and Luis is hit over the head with one clue after another. A bird's neck is broken, a trunk is kept locked, stories don't add up. But he's oblivious because Julia gives good bath. But even after Luis realizes he's been had, he can't shake his love for Julia.
You are Julia Russell from Wilmington, Delaware. You were born the day you stepped off that boat and became my wife.
Original Sin is based on Cornell Woolrich's novel Waltz into Darkness, which was also the foundation for Francois Truffaut's 1969 picture Mississippi Mermaid. I didn't really buy that version of the story, and I completely reject this take. Rarely has manipulation been so evident. Every scary moment is pounded home by musical stings that are so loud you jump in your seat, not because you've been legitimately scared, but because the score has just shouted, boo! And of all the laughably implausible plot twists, there's one that's beyond stupid. After Luis and Julia's own con game goes horribly, violently wrong, their response is to try it all over again. Unbelievable.
There's something that's a little more unbelievable than that, and that's the ending, where you have an irrevocable action that turns out to be revocable.
Yeah.
But I'm recommending this movie.
You are not.
I'm recommending it as great, melodramatic, lurid overkill with a fabulous performance by Angelina Jolie, who absolutely eats up the screen with her totally sensuous and untrammeled performance. Come on. This is the kind of movie that you just enjoy on a visceral level, even while your higher brain centers, are finding problems with it. You know,
I think you're working below the belt with your recommendation here. Talking about
just
higher brain centers, you're talking about how hot Angelina Jolie
I don't give a pass to Princess Diaries just because it's innocuous. I do give a pass to this because it is so unashamedly populist entertainment.
It is not populist entertainment.
Yes, it is.
It's just dreck.
Oh, come on.
It's so ridiculous that you can't even enjoy it as a guilty pleasure. Well, you can, apparently.
Don't you enjoy what Angelina
else
Jolie brings to the screen? She is one of the most visceral and direct.
So she looks great. We
No,
get that.
that's
She
not
takes
what
her
I'm
clothes
talking
off.
about. That's not
and
what I'm
she's a
talking
good
about
actress.
either.
That's great. But this is a terrible script, and Antonio Banderas is not good in this.
And his
character is just ridiculous.
I would rather see this movie 10 times and see half of Princess Diary one more time.
Okay.
We now go to Sweden and to Under the Sun, which was nominated for an Oscar last year as Best Foreign Film. It's odd and curious and kind of wonderful, this movie. The story of a completely unlikely romance between an illiterate farmer and the glamorous but mysterious woman who answers his want ad for a housekeeper. Rolf Lassgård is honest, hardworking, and lonely. Helena Bergström, who answers the ad, is hardworking and seems honest, but she's not the kind of woman we'd exactly expect to find on this humble farm.
You tycker om dig.
Jag tycker om dig också. Annars skulle jag inte vara här.
Olof's best friend, maybe his only friend, is a wisecracking young gambler who was borrowed a lot of his money and lost it at the track. Ellen cross-examines him.
Det var han som har betalt din del av hästen, eller hur?
Har Olof sagt det?
Nej, det har kunnat gissa mig till.
Hur som helst så är det någonting som du ska ge fullständigt fan i.
Olof doesn't see through Eric's nastiness, but she does, and so the creep tries to break them up by sowing the seeds of doubt.
Hur fan kan du vara så dum? Vad tror du att hon ser i dig? Vad har du att erbjuda?
All during this movie, we're asking the same question the creep is asking. Why is this woman really here? What are her motives? I was surprised how caught up I got in a movie that has the moral simplicity of a silent melodrama and yet keeps us curious and intrigued all the way through. One reason is the acting. Rolf Lassgård seems good to the very core as the farmer. Johan Widerberg is a vicious little sneak. And Helena Bergström is fascinating as the mystery woman. Under the Sun was directed by Colin Nutley, who is British, but has made 6 movies in Sweden, and he never lets us off the hook.
I thought it was really good. I like the performances. It's beautifully lit as well. It's just nice to look at.
Yeah.
And each of the characters does have a little bit more than what you think. I mean, even Olaf lies about his age when he puts the ad in the paper looking for a bride. So everybody, he's a little bit vain. And yeah, his friend's a sneak, but I think his friend does care for him on some level. Maybe he just wants him around so he can con him a little bit more out of some money. But just enough twists and surprises to keep me interested.
And look at the modulation of Helena Bergström's performance, where she has to keep us in doubt, keep her future husband in doubt, keep the creep in doubt, and at the same time has to move in terms of how she feels about her situation.
Yeah, very nicely done. Okay, coming up next, Dennis Quaid and Greg Kinnear are best buddies at a turning point in Dinner with Friends.
You got to stop taking this so personally. Well, how would you take it then, huh?
In our cable watch this week is Dinner with Friends, an HBO release featuring some of the best writing and acting I've witnessed this summer. Dennis Quaid and Andie MacDowell shine as Gabe and Karen, an almost too perfect yuppie food critic couple. They're smart and good-hearted, but when they gush about that lemon almond polenta cake, you can feel your nails digging into your palms. Their best friends Tom and Beth, played by Greg Kinnear and Toni Collette, have just split.
You spend your entire adult life with someone, and it turns out that person, the one person that you completely entrusted your fate to, is an imposter. Can you imagine?
No, wait a minute, honey. We don't know the whole story.
Kinnear has taken up with a young travel agent, but he hasn't left home completely. Here he finds out that Beth has told Gabe and Karen about the breakup.
They heard your side of the story first. Of course they're going to side with you. It's only natural.
Nobody's taking sides.
Oh, don't be naive. You know how it is. You've prejudiced my case.
I have not, Tommy. I was very even-handed.
Gabe wants to stand by his best friend, but he comes to feel that Tom's betrayal extends beyond Beth.
You're my best friend. I got to be able to say this stuff to you. I'm talking about my marriage. It's not that simple, Tom. We were all there. Karen and Danny and Isaac and I, we were all there. We were all a big part of this terrible life that you had to get the hell away from.
Sometimes your best friend isn't your best friend for life. Gabe rushed to his pal's defense, but as he sees the changes in Tom, he's repulsed. He realizes he doesn't even like this guy anymore. They'll have lost touch within a year. But it's not because Tom is a horrible person, nor is Beth such an innocent victim. The story is more complex than that. Dinner with Friends, which premieres August 11th on HBO, is directed by Norman Jewison, and the script is by Donald Margulies from his Pulitzer Prize-winning play. I thought this was a first-class production behind and in front of the camera.
I thought it was pretty shallow and pretty predictable and not really very edgy. I saw a couple other movies in the last few years on the same situation, two couples, all kinds of revelations. The Wife, directed by Tom Noonan, and this movie Bad Manners, that were ever so much more risky and so much more alive. And here we just get a lot of speeches that just kind of sit there on the screen and read like kind of recycled soap opera.
I thought it was really honest, raw stuff. And I think maybe some of the characters have elements of being shallow people, but the writing is much deeper than that. And there are some really good points made about friendships between men. You see, as they're walking through this bar,
the
and they're
points
carrying
that are
on the
made,
conversation.
oftentimes it
really
reads,
nice acting.
It reads like they're reading op-ed columns to each other. You know, that doesn't sound like real dialogue.
Some people on the East Coast who are working for New York newspapers and writing food columns probably do talk like op-ed editorials from time to time.
It doesn't feel like real. It doesn't feel like real conversation. It sounds like kind of a Shaw play with didactic speeches.
I thought it was really well done.
Coming up next, if you've seen Jurassic Park 3 and are planning to see Original Sin, our video spotlight this week looks at their earlier versions.
Ebert and Roeper in the Movies Video Spotlight is brought to you by Nestle Raisinets. Try Raisinets in new convenient resealable bags.
Two movies in theaters right now have predecessors on the classic shelves of your local video store, and they're in the video spotlight this week. Original Sin is based on the Cornell Woolrich novel Waltz into Darkness, which was first filmed in 1969 by Francois Truffaut as Mississippi Mermaid. In that version, Jean-Paul Belmondo was the rich man looking for a mail-order bride, and Catherine Deneuve was the cool deceiver who turned up to marry him.
Vous trouvez que je ne ressemble pas à la photo?
Non.
Le portrait que je vous ai envoyé n'était pas le mien. C'est celui d'une voisine.
Also newly out in stores, a restored version of The Lost World, the famous 1925 silent film based on Arthur Conan Doyle's story about a lost plateau in South America where dinosaurs still rule. This movie inspired the Jurassic Park pictures and lent its title to Jurassic Park 2, The Lost World. This restoration by David Shepard is more like a rediscovery. He found and added more than half an hour of previously lost footage. So, The Lost World and Mississippi Mermaid, early versions of current films in this week's Video Spotlight.
Okay, recapping this week's movies, 2 thumbs way down for Rush Hour 2, a split vote on The Princess Diaries, 2 strong thumbs up for The Deep End, it opens next week, a big split on Original Sin, 2 thumbs up for Under the Sun, and finally a split on Dinner with Friends. It premieres on HBO August 11th.
Remember, you can hear our reviews at Ebert-Roeper-movies.com and read us in print at suntimes.com. Next week, we'll be back with Nicole Kidman in The Others, and until then, the balcony is closed.
you know, Original Sin is so sloppy, I could see Angelina Jolie's tattoos coming through the body makeup.
Oh, come on. No, you could.
Yeah, I actually could. You could see Billy Bob on one of her arms right there. I'm thinking, oh, is that a key?
I didn't see Billy Bob, but maybe I was looking somewhere else.
Well, there are other things to see. She shows a lot of skin in this thing.
A house is not a home until it's safe. The Brinks home security system. Just $99 installed. Call 1-800-GO-BRINKS.
I know what you're thinking. Maybe I should have picked a slightly smaller size. Actually, this is a very clever ploy to remind you that Mervyn's has big brands. And right now, they're at huge savings during Mervyn's entire stock sale. This week, all the big brands for back to school are on sale, including the entire stock of denim for the family, like Levi's, Union Bay, and LEI. Another big reason why Mervyn starts with me. Hurry, sale ends Saturday. Okay, be honest. Do these jeans make my butt look big?
The Toyota Avalon. All you need now is a doorman.
Trying to chase down the best wireless deal? Fortunately, CarToys experts have the knowledge to help find the perfect plan for you and your budget. Now get $500 in bonuses with an AT&T Family Shared Minute Plan. Get 2 Nokia phones. They're better than free after rebates, and they come with $180 of free accessories. Plus, get a $160 instant rebate from CarToys. 2 people share 1,500 minutes for less than $30 each. Only at CarToys, an authorized dealer of AT&T Wireless.
CarToys. Better way to go. At McDonald's, our drive-thru's fast. Real fast. We're the Mac Daddy of drive-thru, and we make it fresh so you get it right. We're so fast, we'll even put a Big Mac where your mouth is just to prove it. It's called our 30-second drive-thru guarantee. When you hit the pickup window, we hit the clock. And if you don't get your order in 30 seconds, you get a Big Mac free on your very next visit. So bring it on and get your food on the fly with our 30-second drive-thru guarantee. Because when it's gotta be quick and gotta be easy, it's gotta be McDonald's. We love to see you smile.